Days of childhood I remember again. To the memories, through the memories, I offer the sacred grass. Friends of childhood sting the memories still, some good, some bad, some young or old. Their varied qualities shaped the story of my life. To them, with love, I offer the sacred grass. These lines are from the popular play Wahato Durvanchi Judi, or I offer the sacred grass, the topic of today's discussion. The writer of this play is Bal Kolhatkar, also known as Bal Kolhatkar. A warm welcome to the 58th episode of Granthyatra. Bal Kolhatkar was born in the town of Satara in the year 1926. Because of the financial difficulties of his family, he was able to receive education only up to class 7. But he had a natural gift of writing. At the age of 15, he wrote a play called Zohar. He later joined the Indian Railways but continued to write plays and scripts for films. The Marathi stage was dominated by great writers such as Acharya Atre and Mama Varerkar in the 1960s. The folk art of tamasha was popular in the rural areas. On this background, Kolhatkar introduced plays based on the lives of urban middle-class families to the Marathi theatre. The audience was won over by these tales of intimate relationships. Families in Maharashtra began to enjoy these plays together. Kolhatkar's plays such as Duritance Timir Javo or May the Darkness in the Minds of Villains Disappear and Vegळं व्हायचंय मला or I Wish to Live on My Own drew record crowds. In addition, Kolhatkar also wrote some mythological and historical plays. His mythological play Dev Dina Ghari Dhavala or The God Rushes to the Wretched and his historical plays Seemevarun Parat Ja or Go Back from the Frontier and Shivrai Kavi Bhushan or King Shivaji and Poet Bhushan were also popular with the audience. A characteristic of his plays was that the titles of most of his plays comprised 9 syllables. The play Wahato Durvanchi Judi was performed for the first time on 19th June 1964 at the Bhave Theatre in Sangli. It was then performed 114 times. Kolhatkar himself graced the role of Subhash in this play. Till today, this play has been performed more than 2000 times. This is the tale of 2 siblings who have lost their mother in their childhood. They live with their father Babasaheb, who lives by his principles. Babasaheb has given up his practice as a lawyer because he has failed to get justice for an innocent man wrongly convicted for a crime. His intelligent son Subhash gets into bad company and adopts a lifestyle inconsistent with his upbringing. Babasaheb is concerned that Subhash is wasting away his life. The cunning led him on the wrong path and the virtuous shielded him. That's how Subhash turned a rogue, he says. The father and son do not get along, and Tai, Subhash's sister, is torn between her love for both of them. She shields her brother from the consequences of all his follies and hides his vices from their father. She firmly believes that Subhash would mend his ways one day. Tai, instead of worrying about me, why don't you think about his future? Babasaheb warns her. But Subhash spends his time with his cunning friend Rangarao and leads a careless life. He spends the eve of the festival of Diwali watching tamasha or the provocative folk art performance. He is not ashamed to borrow money from anyone he meets. He believes that life is inherently full of sorrow. As such, he doesn't believe in planning for the future. The joy of the intransient, which will surely disappear one day, like the festival of Diwali which appears once a year. All said and done, man's life itself is a falsehood. The tears are the only truth, he says. Laughter is like the land surrounded by oceans. 1/4 of a laughter is surrounded by 3/4 of tears. Tears are the base of life, he believes. Although he doesn't earn a living like a normal person, Subhash is fond of writing poetry. While people think Subhash is irresponsible and incapable of achieving anything, he has the skill to make pointed commentary on life through his poetry. Accidental chanting turned Valya into Valmiki. They'll say behind my back, he was born, wasted his life, and died. I am that lost person in the journey gone haywire. I offer the sacred grass. He has this skill of composing on the spot poetry. By and by, Tai gets married. She is fortunate to get a very cultured family as her new marital home. Her husband is a loving and caring person who trusts her completely. However, because of her blind love for her brother and her tendency to pardon all his misdeeds, she gets into trouble. She is compelled to leave her happy married life and return to her parental home. Babasaheb's prediction comes true. He had once said to his daughter, "Tai, one day you will commit such a folly that it would be difficult for you to even acknowledge your mistake. You will be caught in such difficult circumstances that forget Subhash, even I won't be able to rescue you." In this play, Kolhatkar depicts very effectively how a virtue can also prove to be harmful if it is practiced in extreme. Tai loves her brother dearly, but her love is blind. She fails to understand that her love is harming him. She does not realize that instead of cleansing him of his vices, it is giving him a free rein to act without being accountable. Subhash, on the other hand, is aware of his shortcomings. He knows that the infestation of bad company can be killed, but only after it has completely destroyed the plant. "I don't care about the bad souls, dear sister, but I am afraid of the good ones," he confesses. But his father, who firmly believes in a value system, does not approve of Subhash. "I am bad. I am extremely bad. But now that I have sought pardon, why should he be so angry with me?" Subhash asks. But his father is not convinced about his contrition, and the distance between them keeps growing. They do not speak to each other despite living in the same house. This play has the tremendous strength to capture the imagination of a Marathi person, says Acharya Atre in the preface to this play. Each character in this play seems so familiar that the reader is convinced of having met those characters in real life. Yet, each of these characters is full of unique characteristics. Take for example the character of Balu. He is a childhood friend of Subhash. One should have ambition in life, that is his motto. Although somewhat of a simpleton, Balu is pure of heart and a sincere worker. Kolhatkar seems to have created this character to highlight Subhash's vices by contrast. The contrast between Balu's gradual success and achievements and Subhash's downward spiral, Balu's genuine affection for Subhash and Tai, his respect for Babasaheb, and Subhash's careless attitude add to the appeal of this play. They infuse an energy to the play's plot. Two particular back-to-back scenes dramatically unfold this contrast. Balu takes out some time to visit Tai's marital home while on a work trip to the town of Sangli. He inquires after her well-being and gifts her a new cloth to abide by his duty as a brother. Do not refuse the gift of a poor brother, even though you are now married into a rich family, he pleads. On the other hand, Subhash visits Tai's home to ask for money so that he can pay the necessary amount to retrieve her necklace that she had mortgaged for his own sake. Plot based on such intense family relations mesmerized the audience of this play. Although some critics mocked Kolhatkar's plays for its sentimentality, Kolhatkar had captured the pulse of the audience. Kolhatkar was also an accomplished poet. The songs in his play were hugely popular. Songs such as "I Cannot Forget You Mother," "Today I Leave for My Other Home" made the spectators emotional when watching the play. The celebrated singer Manik Verma made these songs unforgettable by lending her voice to them. Music lovers still remember the song "ऋणानुबंधाच्या जिथून पडल्या गाठी भेटीत तुष्टता मोठी." Where these knots of relationships were tied, this great solace in meeting, sung by Kumar Gandharva and Vani Jairam, or Uthi Uthi Gopala, Wake Up O Lord Gopal, still enthrall the audience. We have with us today Jayashri Dakhane to tell us more about this play.
ग्रंथयात्रेच्या मराठी नाट्यरसिक श्रोत्यांना डॉक्टर जयश्री दखणे यांचा सस्नेह नमस्कार. नाटक हा साहित्याचा अविभाज्य घटक आहे. नाटकामध्ये शब्दसंहिता, कथानक, संवाद, पदे, पार्श्वसंगीत, नेपथ्य, नृत्य, संघर्ष, वेश, रंगभूषा, प्रकाश योजना व अभिनय इत्यादी बाबी महत्वाच्या असतात. नाट्यकला हा एक साहित्य प्रकार आहे, तसाच तो कला प्रकारही आहे. हा कला प्रकार नाट्य निर्मितीच्या प्रायोगिक रंगभूमीवर उत्तम रीतीने यशस्वी झालेला आपणास पाहावयास मिळाला तो बाळ कोल्हटकर लिखित वाहतो ही दुर्वांची जुडी या नाट्य कलाकृतीच्या माध्यमातून. नाटककार, कवी, अभिनेता, दिग्दर्शक आणि निर्माता असे पंचरंगी व्यक्तिमत्व लाभलेले बाळकृष्ण हरी कोल्हटकर उर्फ बाळ कोल्हटकर यांची वाहतो ही दुर्वांची जुडी हे अत्यंत लोकप्रिय नाटक. या नाटकाने रसिकांच्या मनावर 60च्या दशकापासून मनोरंजनाद्वारे व सामाजिक बांधिलकी जपून उद्बोधन केले. बाळ कोल्हटकरांच्या समृद्ध नाट्य सादरीकरणामुळे रसिक श्रोत्यांनी त्यांना महाराष्ट्राचे छोटे गडकरी असा सन्मान बहाल केला. वाहतो ही दुर्वांची जुडी हे नाटक आजही मराठमोळ्या संस्कारित मनांवर अधिराज्य गाजवीत आहे. बाळ कोल्हटकर यांना प्रत्यक्ष जीवन जगत असताना जे काही परिस्थितीनुसार कडूगोड अनुभव आले, त्यातून यशस्वी मार्ग प्राप्त करण्याकरिता ते गणपतीची आराधना करीत असत. असेच एकदा आपल्या आयुष्यातील चुकांची गोळाबेरीज ईश्वरासमोर प्रामाणिकपणे व्यक्त करत असतानाच व गणपतीच्या डोक्यावर दुर्वांची जुडी वाहत असताना अचानक त्यांना या नाटकाचे कथाबीज उमगले. याचमुळे कवी मनाचे पात्र या नाटकात दर्शवून त्यांनी जे कथानक नाट्यसंहितेतून व्यक्त केले, त्यावरून वाहतो ही दुर्वांची जुडी हे बाळ कोल्हटकरांचे आत्मचरित्रात्मक नाटक आहे असेही समीक्षकांनी या संदर्भात आपले मत नोंदविले आहे. यातील बाळ कोल्हटकरांनी सुभाषची भूमिका त्यांच्या अभिनय सामर्थ्याने व उत्कृष्ट काव्यलेखनाने अजरामर केली. जणू काही ईश्वराने त्यांनी वाहिलेली ही दुर्वांची जुडी या नाटकाच्या रूपाने स्वीकृत केली असे म्हणता येईल. एखाद्याच्या अपराधांवर पांघरून घालणे म्हणजे त्याला पुन्हा अपराध करण्याची संधी मिळवून देणे, हेच ताई व भाऊच्या पात्रांद्वारे दर्शविले आहे. ताईच्या प्रेमळ पांघरुणाखाली सुभाष अधिकाधिक दुष्कर्म करण्यास प्रवृत्त होतो, परंतु इतर पात्र रचनांच्या व प्रसंगांच्या माध्यमातून सुभाषला कळलेली त्याची चूक व त्यातून बाहेर पडण्याची त्याची धडपड आजच्या तरुण पिढीला वाईट संगत सोडून चांगल्या संस्कारांना स्वीकारण्यास भाग पाडते. या नाटकाच्या कथानकाने किंवा त्यातील पात्रांच्या शालीन संवादांमधून भरकटलेल्या स्थितीतून तरुणांना योग्य मार्ग सापडावा, हाच कदाचित या नाटकाचा उद्देश आहे असे मला आवर्जून नमूद करावेसे वाटते. सामाजिक बांधिलकी जोपासून तरुण पिढीला आजच्या स्थितीतही संस्कारांचे वॅक्सिन टोचणाऱ्या या नाटकाचे आणखी एक महत्व मला इथे नमूद करावेसे वाटते. सुभाष सारखा कवी मनाचा नायक या नाटकात दर्शविल्याने या नाटकास 1960 ते 1970 या दशकात नव्याने संगीत नाटकांची जी लाट आली होती, त्यातही मानाचे स्थान प्राप्त झाले आहे. वाहतो ही दुर्वांची जुडी अशी पालुपत प्रत्येक कडव्याच्या शेवटी कवी मनाच्या सुभाषच्या तोंडी आल्याने व त्याच्या या दीर्घ कवितेतून वेळोवेळी चांगले वाईट, सत्य असत्य, सुख दुःख यांचे प्रतिबिंब काव्यातून दर्शवून तसेच पार्श्वसंगीताच्या माध्यमातून योजलेल्या काही गीतांमधून कोल्हटकरांनी संगीत नाटक परंपराही वृद्धिंगत केली असे मला येथे या नाटकाच्या निमित्ताने जाणीवपूर्वक सांगावेसे वाटते. धन्यवाद.
Does Sai manage to get out of the difficult circumstances that she finds herself in? Does Subhash try to mend his ways? What consequences does he have to face for having kept bad company? Do Babasaheb and Subhash reconcile their differences? To know the answers to these questions, do read the play Wahato hi Durvanchi Judi. Kolhatkar effectively portrays in this play the truth of how even good people can sometimes stray from the path of virtue, and how it is not just enough to possess virtue but to practice those virtues wisely. The one who does not possess that discerning power is miserable in life. In the words of instant poetry as composed by Subhash, the crow of time fills the pot one pebble at a time. Vice chases the virtue but no sight of the shore. Shun the vice, shun the virtue, shun the life, no desire to live. Folding my 8 organs and limbs, I seek liberation from this all. I offer this sacred grass. We shall meet in the next episode of Granthyatra to read an extremely humorous book. Until then, keep reading.